Hey, Happy New Year's, John from Okinawa, and just enjoying a walk basically to the park nearby my house. Um, I just reached a really cool milestone that I realized after checking into my Mint account this year. My wife and I, we just reached $900,000, and it's been a pretty long discipline road to this point, and it's just been a really great welcoming into the new year for us, because we've been on this fire journey and path for well, essentially since we met each other, got married, and it's been a goal of ours to reach financial independence and retirement early, and it's great seeing it come through fruition. So one way we do track our net worth, if you will, is obviously through assets minus liabilities. We use mint.com, which is a really great resource. It'll actually sum up all your accounts. You could put in your savings accounts, your checking accounts, your IRAs, Roth traditional brokerage accounts. If you have peer-to-peer lending accounts, you could do that too. If you have a house, you could put your property on there. It'll use Kelley Blue Book, or for cars, you could put those in. It'll use Kelley Blue Book, but for houses, it'll use Zillow. You can put all your credit cards in there, your mortgages, like we had our Wells Fargo mortgage on there. And what it does, it's going to update those every time you log in. It'll spit out a number, and it's going to give you all your assets added up minus your liabilities, and it's going to spit out a net worth, and it'll even keep track of that stuff over time. So it's a pretty good resource for people who like to track progress and things, and especially if you're on that fire journey, it's a great way to track your or to see how well you're doing. So on our way to fire, obviously you have to buy things. Cass and I, we always decided to buy things with credit cards. We have like a cocktail of credit cards that we use for all our purchases. Oh, Navy's coming into land. By having different credit cards for different situations, we get anywhere from like 1.5% cash back to up to 6% cash back for certain categories of spending, whether those categories are gas, travel, hotels, grocery stores, department stores, internet subscriptions. We get different benefits, sometimes different benefits quarter to quarter, but each card has its own rewards. One of the other great benefits of having these different cards is some of them you could actually get some type of like purchase protection on them. So I've had to actually use this where I've dealt with unethical vendors that they didn't give me the service that they promised during the transaction, and when I asked for a refund, they wouldn't give it to me. So these credit cards will actually give you your money back if you use them for the transaction, so that you don't have to go through the hassle of getting stiffed on a lack of service or good that was promised to you during the transaction. Another thing is some expensive products come with like 1-year warranties. Some of these cards that I have will actually extend the warranty by an additional year, so that if the product goes bad and you're out of warranty, they'll cover the difference for you. Another thing Cass and I do is we automate all our bills. So this is really great for just saving mental energy into doing other things that you want to do, which is the whole point of the whole FIRE movement. It's just to free up your time so that you don't have to waste it on other things. So I have so many friends that are still stuck in the Stone Age, is what I call it, because they're still month to month worrying about logging into their various subscription accounts or utility accounts and paying off bills, while Cass and I, we just have that all automated with auto pay, including our credit card payments too. So we automate all our bills to our credit cards, and we automate all our credit cards to our checking accounts. So there's literally nothing that we do every month. I don't do anything. Like, all I do is I ensure that I have money in my account, and since Mint will add up all your liabilities via your credit card transactions for you, I just make sure that I always have more money in my account than that liabilities, and then I don't do anything. I don't waste minutes or hours on a monthly basis worrying about that stuff, and it just lets me have a richer life with time. Like I own my time now, and I could spend it how I want to do it. Yeah, so as for liquid cash, I have a very small amount of liquid cash that I keep around. I'll show it up on the screen here, but it's somewhere around like 2 or 3% of my overall amount of money. And the way I handle liquid cash is I have a savings and checking account, and I use ally.com because they offer the best rates, and they're not a brick and mortar, and they're super convenient. There's another one. So they're super convenient, and Ally is offering something like above 1.5% right now on a savings rate, which is pretty awesome for money that wouldn't be doing anything otherwise for you. And I always ensure that my checking account is a little bit more than what my liabilities add up to, and then I always make sure that my savings account is hovering somewhere between 5 and 10 grand. And in my opinion, if I have more than 10 grand in my savings account, I am losing out on money, because if that money was in the market, I could be making more money with it. So I never have more than like 20 grand or 25 grand in liquid cash, because your money's not doing anything for you. If you have that much in liquid cash, you need to be investing it and having it work for you. For investment vehicles, Cass and I use our IRAs. We use Roth IRAs, but we also have 401ks from our employers, and we rolled those over into brokerage accounts with the retirement tax deferral savings on them. And currently I work for the military, so I have the thrift savings plan, and I always max out my thrift savings plan. We always max out our IRAs too, so I'm always putting in I think it's like $18,500 a year into the thrift savings plan. And then right now I think IRAs are $6K per person, so I always make sure to put in $6K for her, $6K for me, and then the $18K into that. So that way our money, as it grows, it's not going to grow in a way where it's going to get taxed up front while we're young and making our smaller salaries, if you will. So it gets taxed at a lower rate. While I was working for Walgreens a long time ago, I participated in that 401k program. They had a profit sharing, so there was some type of match when I purchased into it. So I always made sure to take care of matches. Oh, there's another. I forget what the match was, but it was it's essentially free money. So I always had like precedence on how I wanted to invest my money, and I always thought you always do matches first, then you do tax deferred accounts, and then you do tax accounts after that. So I always made sure to max that out my entire 5 years that I was working at Walgreens. And right now for the military with the thrift savings plan, I am opted into this thing called the blended retirement system, where not only am I going to get a 40 instead of 50% pension at the end, but now I'm going to get 5% match contributions, all tax-free, into my thrift savings plan. So my salary, up to 5% of it will get put in for free without anything out of my pocket, and that's going to be compounding every year. And this year was a great year because I think the stock market made over 20%. So it's just more free money that's going to grow compounded for me. My largest account out of my net worth is definitely my brokerage. I have almost $500,000 into that. Unfortunately, it's taxed, but you can only put so much money in your tax efficient investment vehicles, so all the overflow has to go into a tax account. And then another thing I do, which is in my net worth because it's still my money right now, but it's all going to go to my daughter, is I have a 529 plan for her. It's another tax efficient account, and we have over 17 grand in the 529 plan. It's basically a college fund that could be used for college or anything related to college, so not just classes and room and board, but you could buy like electronic equipment like laptops and things like that. And then we do of course have vehicles. We don't have our vehicles on our Mint account, but those are to be considered part of your net worth because you could theoretically liquidate them and turn them into cash. We just very conservatively say that they're worth $500 a piece, so that's like an extra $1,000. So all I want to keep doing is I just want to keep growing my net worth. My goal is to fire. I want to get somewhere between like $2 and $5 million, and right now I'm on track. As long as the market doesn't crash this year, which everyone's saying that it will, but as long as it doesn't crash this year, I should be on track for making $1 million in 2020. So 2020 should be like a really large milestone for Cass and I. And then compounding interest with my salary, I should be making probably like, it should be about $2 million in about 5 years. So 31 right now, maybe by the time I'm 36 I'll have $2 million net worth, and then that means by the time I'm probably 40, that 2 million should probably be at least 3 or 3.5 due to compounding interest and whatnot. But looking forward, we're just staying disciplined. We still do things that we enjoy doing. I mean, we visited so many countries this year. We came to Japan, we live here now. We visited Costa Rica for a couple weeks. We went to Taiwan, we went to South Korea, we went to Thailand. I've been to the Philippines, and I'm about to go to Japan again. I'm about to go to the Philippines again. I'm about to go to Singapore next month. So I'm not holding back on anything. I buy things that I want. Cass gets whatever she wants, and Juliet, our baby, is doing just fine too. We get her everything that she needs. So we are smart with our money. We make sure not to buy frivolous things. We like to spend our money on experiences and things that enrich our life, not for just now, but things that will follow us and we'll continue to cherish and remember for forever. So that's what we got to look forward to, and yeah, have a good one. Happy New Year.